Good morning, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut with Bobby Atkins, and we are the Real Estate Jerky Veterans Edition. I always say it like I don't remember where I'm at.
Every week, huh?
Well, I kind of don't remember where I'm at every week sometimes.
I know. I always tell people every day is a Monday for me, right?
Definitely this week. Because I worked out in the yard getting it ready. We're going to get to start working on the front. So I had to move a bunch of rocks to the backyard. I was like, I can't give these away. Oh, I got that whole back flower bed that needs something in it.
Yeah.
So I had leg day on Sunday.
Gotcha.
And I'm still paying for it today.
Man, I had a good leg day last Friday, and I was sore yesterday still.
Were you?
Yeah.
Well, that's how that works.
Yeah.
It's usually the second day, not the first day.
If you do a good job, right?
Yeah. I have those compression leg things where you turn it on and it compresses your legs afterwards, which helps out drastically.
Oh, no kidding. No, just with lactic acid buildup and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it works. I'm like bottom during the pandemic. Thank God. I've been using it ever since.
Good to know.
All right, but let's get into the market. First thing I want to talk about, we talked about, I think last week, and I also did it on the radio, about your VA benefits. It's so important to go get them. Even if you think you're fine, you're not. And you should go and get them and try. And if you have 10%, so a lot of people have 10% because they applied and they're like, okay, you had enough complaints, you get 10%. Well, that doesn't mean you don't go back. It's kind of like, I say it's kind of like those old insurance companies, or even the current one, that one guy got shot and killed, where they deny all the first claims. I kind of feel that's what the Veterans Administration does originally.
Gotcha.
When you first get out and you put in the stuff, they deny it pretty much, or just give you 10% when you should be getting much more than that.
Yeah, so that's just like the default. You submit, deny, but keep fighting, right?
Exactly. And then I ran into a Ranger Johnson from one of my podcasts. Actually, I ran into him before that and then asked him to come on the podcast so I could learn more and see what they were doing on the Helping the Brave podcast.
Gotcha.
And from that episode, I was like, okay. And so I applied to them and went through the whole process. And I'm like, wow, this is, pretty amazing. If as long as everything works out, it's great. But even if I get more than I have now, then it's worth it for me. But
yeah,
he does go through and pick things and adds things up and see what happens. And he'll give you, whether or not. And I said it on the radio last weekend, and I had somebody reach out so I can send his information to him. So, and I don't make any money from Ranger Johnson. If I do, I don't know about it.
Yeah.
But because I talked to Ralph at my Rotary and sent him, and he's like, don't worry, you're getting your $100. I'm not referring this to this guy because of money I'm making. I'm referring because I think every vet deserves to have their benefits and utilize that benefits for your life. Because if you get $2,000 a month or $4,000 a month, well, that's like retirement.
Yeah, I can say, well, that's, if you're already surviving and that's just extra money, invest it,
Well, it's extra money to pay your mortgage, and then that way you can focus on other things, or money to pay for your kids to do others, kids to go to school. You get money for your kids. The problem is a lot of us, if you got out in the 90s, you didn't get anything. Early 2000, it was not, there weren't these companies who are here to help you. And you got to be careful, because there are a lot of these companies that are here to help you, but they're here to help you at 20 and 30% of whatever your first check is. Yeah. His is a flat fee, and it's all, at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we had a good, it was a little over an hour Zoom call last Friday. And so I'm all set up with him. We don't have a chance to meet again till January, because his calendar is so booked up. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's like there's a lot of things that he pointed out that I'm like, you know what, I'm I never thought about that, but now that I'm kind of recalling, right, like just injuries and things like that when you're in your early 20s, you're like, oh, it's going to heal. And now 20 years later, you're like, man, that still kind of hurts.
Yeah, because he was like, is your shoulder the same as it was when I was 18 years old? No, heck no, it's not.
No, man.
Yeah, I don't know what but my biggest thing is I picked up a ton of patients and moved a bunch of people, and I pulled EMT duty at night as a physical therapy during the day, and then we'd pull duty for in the evening, and it was ambulance.
Yeah.
And I actually taught at the EMT school after I became an EMT, and we pulled duty out of Santa Onofre. That's the north part of, that's where those two, that nuclear power plant is in Santa Onofre, which is also in San Clemente. There's the word I'm looking for. Well, we'd come off the freeway there, and there'd be accidents, and we'd go to these accidents and help support. when I was in. I don't know if they still do it because they're so far down on the other side, but they're when they first get into the base now on Camp Pendleton, where we used to be in the middle of the base. And so that's why we did the things that we did. I don't know what they do now, but I mean, I dealt with tons of, deaths and everything else. And I can still recall every patient I touched.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, that's PTSD. Okay. I'm just used to knowing that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I think I'm a little off topic there.
But, no. I mean, we're a veterans show, right? So just remind everyone,
you need your benefits because that helps you with buying a home. You don't pay your funding fee. You don't pay the other stuff they have. That means because a typical funding fee, your first utilization is 2.15 added to the loan amount. So that's 2% added to the loan amount. So if it's a $500,000 loan amount, that's 10 grand added to the loan amount. A little bit more than that, but we're just making it easy. Yeah. And then your second time use, you're looking at about 3% towards on your loan amount. So that'd be 15,000 on a 500,000. Well, that's money that you don't have to pay for. And if you are going through the process and you refinance and then you get your benefits, you do get that money back.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Because I had a guy helped him purchase, and right after I got a check back for $12,000 because he got his benefits.
Gotcha.
Yeah. He was like, I got $12,000. I go, well, don't blow it. And of course he did.
Yeah.
All right. A lot less inventory this week, end of last week, a lot less. I mean, the lowest we've been is for a very long time. The only time it was any lower than what we did nationwide, because we were down another 14 or 16,000 this week, was in 2022. There was only 247,000 homes for sale during last week. And now we still are in the 700s, but it's way lower. That just means less and less inventory, less choices, more competition.
Yeah.
And still, we are into the, the winter months, December, January. Things do slow down, but not usually. People who put the house on the market and buy now really need to move because they need to buy now. So it's still a great time to buy. You could probably get some closing costs, other stuff, especially as a veteran.
Oh yeah, when first time home buyers, December is a great time.
Oh,
I've closed quite a few in December. I know we always talk about there's the 6 best days to buy houses in December, right?
Actually 7. Okay, yeah. Well, we'll go with 6. That works too.
Hey, either way.
The best, what? Someone asked, what's the best day to buy? The day that you decide to buy and you actually get into the contract. That's the best day.
Yeah, and people are always surprised that still holding open houses and people are still purchasing homes. I'm like, the old days of everything shuts down. I mean, maybe if we were somewhere like in upstate New York, socked in with 5 feet of snow, but out here, gosh, it was 63 degrees on Saturday.
Sunny yesterday. Yeah, on Sunday. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say on Saturday I had an open house and it was beautiful weather.
I mean,
for the time of year.
Yeah, because normally last year we'd be Stormageddon. Last year, and we're not having this time.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I remember that because I did open house and it was just pouring down rain.
Yeah, there's so much snow at my cabin by this time, and there's nothing.
Yeah,
which I'm like, oh, that just means I got to move wood then.
Yeah.
But we just want to reiterate, now is the time, especially if you're a veteran. Don't wait just because other people aren't. The other reason that this month is really good is because a lot of people bought during the summer, and because they have to move because of schools or other things for kids, and they want to do it in the summer. So most of those people buy during that period of time. Yeah. But it doesn't mean things don't happen the rest of the time of the year.
Well, and so actually, I have a client, and this is the first one in a couple of years, but we just closed on the sale of their house and they're moving out to Texas. So they're going to move out there with their kids. But so we still have people moving out of state.
Yeah, but not as many. And actually, there was 5 states in California where people were moving from, and we were only number 2 now.
Yeah.
Moving out of California.
What was number 1?
It was Louisiana.
Oh, no kidding.
Huh? Yeah, I was shocked about that one.
I forgot that was a state. I hate saying that, man, but there's so many Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, it's probably a good thing that do we go dark?
I'm good.
Oh, I'm dark over here, man.
Move your mouse.
I'll just keep talking.
Move your mouse.
Okay, no, we're back.
You went to sleep. You haven't
my computer, huh?
Yeah, because it wasn't being utilized.
Gotcha.
You were talking, but occasionally move the mouse.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Good to know.
Yeah, because it's been sitting there for a while. Yeah. So and we do have people leaving the state, but not as many there. And that was what they're saying. There's less people moving out of other states and just moving in general because of the states that they used to move to, like Florida and Texas. People are realizing you got to deal with hurricanes and weather and other stuff, and people are starting to move back also.
Yeah. Well, it just depends on your motivation, right? Like in this family scenario, their kids are already out in Texas, and they're retired now, and they want to be, near the grandkids, and so it makes sense.
Yeah, and again, like you said, it just depends on your situation and what your plan is for the future. My plan is to stay here because I like the weather here.
Yeah.
If I was going to move, I'd move to I don't know, like Spain or something.
Yeah, well, I was going to say
on the coast.
I think Spain has pretty similar weather to us, right?
Well, if you get on the coast, it's not as expensive. You can live, but then again, I mean, if you have children and then grandkids, you have all those things you have to deal with.
Yeah, well, I can say now, how much is airfare going to cost to come back a couple times a year, right?
I don't know. That depends on how many times they come out and see us.
I heard, who was talking about it, right? So they were talking about like how you have like 18 years with your kids, and then once they move out, if you don't live in the same city. So
right, you have that's the most you're ever going to spend time with them.
Yeah, then they're like, you might see them 3 times a year for the rest of their lives, right?
Right.
So you might see your kids 25 times. It's like, oh wow, that's made me incredibly sad.
Yeah, but the positive thing is we have stuff now that we didn't have before.
Yeah,
video, FaceTime, all that stuff that most people we didn't have before. So you can see your kids all the time. You might not see them in person, but you can still connect with them like we never were able to connect. And same thing when you got out of the military. We have ways to stay connected now that we didn't have when I was in or getting out, or other people did. Now all the people can stay together and be, be in groups and connect. And that's what people need to do, connect that way.
Yeah. Hey, ideally, man, 50-acre parcel, everyone gets their own house, right?
But people, I say that's a great idea, but then what happens when people start fighting?
Well, that's you got your 10 acres to yourself, right? I've just seen, I know we're way off topic.
No, but it's still real estate.
Yeah. But it's like both of my grandparents, sets of grandparents, one moved to Grass Valley and the other one lived up in Long Barn, so not like
right next to each other,
but not far away, right? Like 3 hours to Grass Valley, hour and 45 minutes to Long Barn. We hardly ever saw them.
But that's because you didn't try.
Well, but,
I mean, it's like, think about how many times you've been to Yosemite.
But like a few times. But like when you're a kid, you can't go there, So I don't know. I get like living, down the street from your kids and grandkids.
Well, again, that is, but again, it just depends. You have to put the time in to spend the time with your family, and people don't. That's just it doesn't matter where you are. Maybe the fact that you live further away, well, now you'll put that time in there to get together on Thanksgiving and Christmas and other stuff that you might not have done before.
Yeah.
I just say if you're going to move out, do whatever makes you happy is what you need to work on. And your kids are going to be all over the place. My kids are all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. All over. And we'll find out when they get married and have kids where they end up. That
Yeah, we all did that too.
Yeah, I did. I was nowhere next to my family at all. So what are you gonna do? All right, I'm done for the day.
No, that's
because
good,
I'm gonna keep going and going and going if we keep going.
Yeah.
All right, but the most important thing I just want to reiterate is go get your VA benefits. And if you need help, reach out to us. We can get you to Ranger Johnson. Also, get qualified for a VA loan today. Reach out to me. I'm Ed Parcaut. I'm Ed Parcaut everywhere. Or you can reach out to Bobby at 209-550-1087, and we can get you started on the road. Thank you, Bobby.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Ed.
All right. Make it a great day.